Your fingers on the beat.
J to the F to the fuck you. Now that I got that out the way, fuck you. Lower your shields and prepare to be bought. Prepare to be targeted. You can't fuck with my heart and shit. Yeah, this is lights out. For my brothers, get your whole fam wiped out. For my fam, get your whole universe destroyed. Take your face off, all cast Detroit. I'm a disaster boy, extinction level asteroid. Impact is smashing noise, born in the blackest void. So he ain't know who he's facing. I cheese grade him, I get savage, that's the TNathan. No patience like they shut down the hospital. Wins against me, it's not possible, not probable. Man, it's all illogical. I've been sick. This shit is chronicle. Hands we hold them. The face shows how we fold them. Y'all keep making noise trying to get noticed. Y'all can't see me. You got no focus. I show up, they disappear. Hocus pocus for no respect. When your paws come to sweat. When I call on Artie from 41 select. Target select, target acquisition. When them shells rain down, you look like a bad car collision.
Greetings, salutations, welcome to Conversations with TNathan. What is this? The 8th of July, 2020. How are you all doing out there? Whether you're listening to me on the GCPR network or across all my social media platforms. Welcome. And you had a good weekend. How are you all doing out there? In podcast radio land. Hope you all are all feeling good. Hope you all can hear me clearly. What's up, everybody? Shout out to Cam. Shout out to Mom. Shout out to Bestie. Shout out to everybody who's listening. That's helping make the show even better. Thank you for all of your support. I wanted to get that in. This is the second week of my show. This is the second week, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on the GCPR network and across all my social media platforms. Thank you for joining. Well, it's been an interesting weekend, has it not? Has it not? Been an interesting weekend. And a lot of it is still revolving around Joseph Biden's taking office. This was the first day, well, running for office. This was the first day that Congress has been back in session since um, debate. And yeah, the Congressional Black Caucus endorsed Trump with no reservations today. They came out and basically they have no reservations about supporting Joseph Biden. And another Adam Smith, I believe, yeah, Adam Smith, Congressman Adam Smith came out and joined six other congressmen who are calling for somebody else at the top of the Democratic ticket. That's where we stand on those things. And can I say this? Hmm, People talk about, uh, we keep talking about the debate and his performance at the debate. You do realize if this was the opposite, or if he would have had a good performance at the debate, we would still be talking about that also, right? We would still be talking about the points he made and everything against the Republicans. But anyway, and you do understand just because we can criticize something doesn't mean we don't understand that two things can be true at the same time, because some of us can walk into bubble gum at the same damn time. All right. So that's what's on the agenda for this week. We'll watch and see how that turns out. Um, but until then, let's talk about this week. This week coming up, um, where the Supreme Court is still had extended their session to include some more um, decisions that we're undoubtedly not going to like. And Patriot Front this weekend was marching downtown in Nashville, Tennessee. And you know, I was watching Patriot Front and I was thinking about some of the other things that they had happened. Like you remember in 2022, um, U-Haul with the Patriot Front members got pulled over, and 31 of them were arrested because they were heading to a pride parade to disrupt it. And doing that, doing that, they had an individual the bus with them on the U-Haul. I was also arrested, and the police confiscated his phone. And on his phone, they happened to find, dun, dun, wait for it, um, child imagery of underage minors in compromising positions that turned out to be, mm, you know what it was. It's still a little too early in the evening to talk about the coin that was found on his phone. And it was found on his phone, and he was charged with that. It was just so it was so hypocritical to think that this man, who his mother had gave an ultimatum that if he need to leave home or he need to pick between Patriot Front and his family. And of course, he got on that U-Haul and went to Idaho to protest um, um, pride event with child corn on his phone. He was only given a year. He was given a year and 3 years probation. Let that sink in. This man was on his way to disturb um, pride events with child corn on his phone. Um, 31 counts. He was facing 30 years. 30 years he was facing. And he was given 1 year with 3 years probation. Anybody want to make that make sense? Anybody want to make that make sense? That is the system that we live in. He was facing 30 years. He had underage pictures on his phone and admitting to engaging in a communication with someone under the age of 16. And all he got was 1 year, 3 years probation. Okay. So that's what I thought about when I saw the video Patriot Front in Nashville this weekend. That this is the kind of people that they are they're a part of. These are the kind of people we are a part of. And I want to play something that happened on Meet the Press this weekend. Meet the Press this weekend had JD Vance. And JD Vance is one of the JD Vance, let me find it for you. JD Vance is one of the people that is running or in the running short list for Donald Trump's VP selection. And JD Vance was on Meet the Press this weekend. And JD Vance said basically that they're going to bring back to the White House principles. Yes, that's what he said. He said he was going to bring back to the White House some principles, right? Let me see if I can bring old JD Vance up so you all can hear what he had to say on the subject. It was very telling. Hold on, let me pull it up. Dun dun dun.
White House, and I'm fighting to try to do that. People, I think we have to bring that back to the White House, and I'm fighting to try to do that. Well,
Excuse me. What house?
I think we have to bring that back to the White House, and I'm fighting to try to do that.
So the Grand Wizard here, excuse me, yeah, that was J.D. Vance, short list senator from Ohio, was on the short list for Donald Trump's vice president running mate, and he's talking about bringing principles back to the White House. The White House. They're not. They're not even saying the quiet parts are just being said out loud. At this point, the quiet parts are just being basically screamed out loud, and that is what we're getting. So understand the upcoming election, as tragic as it may be, is going to be a choice between bad and worse, choice between bad and worse. At this point, if it stays on the present trajectory that it is on, and nobody, Sirhan, anybody comes out the woodworks. This is the trajectory that our country is on at this time. And it's interesting that I hear people talking about democracy on both sides. And one side wants to dismantle democracy as we know it. As a matter of fact, they're saying that our country isn't even a democracy. And the other side want to criticize you for pointing out the shortcomings of their candidates and telling you to be quiet and basically dribble. Because instead of taking an opportunity to do something better, we're going to keep with the status quo. And I said I wasn't going to talk about it tonight, but hey, it's my radio show. I can talk about what I want to. With the status quo, this presents an opportunity for us to actually do something. And we're sitting back and we're going to keep the status quo and then be looking, the ones of us who are talking about the opportunity to do something. We are going to be the ones who are going to be accused of what? Not sticking with the status quo when you all always talk about after the fact you want something different, but you're not willing to do something different when the opportunity presents itself. Yeah, that should be the operational definition of cultural insanity. Because I'm always listening to people talk about they want change and they want something different. But when the inflection point arrives or you have to make change, you're still digging in to the status quo. And anybody at that moment who tells you you're still digging in and to the status quo, you automatically apply your binary thinking to them, believing that if they're not for you, they're against you. And instead of looking at the opportunity that you're going to be crying a few months later, talking about why things never change and they're always the same. And then, like I say, I watched the Congressional Black Congress today, caucus today, act like they had no question about anything. And we continue to talk about what people have done, and it's strange to me because at 20, I could do certain things that I can't physically do at 57. It's a natural progression. So I wouldn't try to be on the same track teams or anything that I would try to be on in my 20s now, because I would drag a team down because I'm not performing at that level. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that um, analogy. Then I think people don't know the difference between fluid intelligence and crystal intelligence also. We have crystal intelligence, the intelligence that encompasses the things we know. Then we have fluid intelligence that is used in situations where we apply the things we know in a manner that adjusts itself to the fluid nature of the event. And while experience will maybe allow you to have more crystal intelligence, fluid intelligence, if you're not cognitive of it, starts to decline in your 30s. Um, so there is that. But also today, I watched a press conference. It was quite contentious, a press conference that took place today with the press secretary and the press. And I was watching it, and I had this, I had this idea that if I would have watched this press conference would have never happened. Um, with that much disrespect, if John Pierre wasn't a black woman. Yeah, I said it. I've seen other press secretaries when situations were much more contentious that they would not met with that kind of disrespect that the press met John Pierre today. Um, press secretary for the Biden administration. So here he is. How y'all doing today? Hope you taking a moment this weekend to make sure you did everything you needed to do. I hope you enjoyed your family. Hope you spent some time with your loved ones. Hope you loved yourself. So, because that is very important to understand that you are worthy of love and respect, and it starts with yourself. That's my station identification for a moment. And you're listening to Conversations with TNathan on the GCPR network. And yeah, we're going to take a little, I told you I was going to take the opportunity to spotlight certain artists. This is Dr. Fingers
The fingers on the beats.
and Eddie Brock.
Rappers up in the hearse. See me fall in front of your car, throw that bitch in reverse. Watching weak rappers crash into a fucking brick wall. Fuck y'all, do my dirt solo. Don't need to make a phone call. Won't hear me when I creep. Catch you rappers when you sleep. Soul fest, collect your soul without making a fucking peep. Broad, got smack, rock, crack, bust 2 times. Might spit, don't slip, might fold, you can't get with mine. My time is like right now. Tight wow, got beef, I got cheese, a nigga killed 2 cows. Listen. Good with these words and pen game against the grain. Sight picture locked on you, fem lanes. Look both ways before a nigga crossing the street. This road runner kill coyotes, lift you up off your feet. Crash dummies, smack dummies, beat your face gummy. Play the cards you was dealt, my nigga. Getting rummy, used to do crime. Rock used to bust his 9. Now put your hands where my eyes can see while I bust my rhyme. Q-tips for your ears so rappers can check my rhyme. Decepticons and Autobots make a shrine and prime. Listen, time is money, money is time. 30-second pocket check, what was yours is now mine, brah. Listen, just give me your shit, man. Make it easy. Hey, why the fuck is your shoes late, man? Goofy.
Ah. Right now I'm in God mode, harmful, leave you, but only God knows. Lord knows I'm forceful, force is unstoppable. Clean up on aisle 2, that's how I mop up fools. Bring them on 2 at a time. I scatter rhymes, just scatter brain. I see the bitch of your eyes. I overdose on flows. This here is the rope of dope. Grow from men cold to snow.
Better focus, yo.
I'm back.
Yes, that is my little brother, Dr. Fingers, Jay, and Eddie Brock on the mic with Godsmack. That's yeah. That is one of the things I'll be doing here. I will be spotlighting independent artists that are trying to get out there. If you know such an artist, hit me up on my social media platform. You can comment, or my email address is also on all those platforms. Let me know. Let me turn it on. The fastest route is to subscribe, because then I know you are serious and you can send me a subscription um, on any of my platforms, and it helps me do what I do. But it also will get you first noticed on what you want to put out there in the market. Any minority-owned businesses, if you would like to reach out and get a shout out on the show across the platform, like I say, subscribe, hit me up, and we'll get you out there. We'll get you out there. So, also today comes out that following Donald Trump's lead, Republicans are adopting a platform that softens their stance on abortion. Donald Trump told officials Monday that he supports a new Republican Party platform, one that reflects the presumptive nominee's new position on abortion rights and and stems down policy specific along across all areas of government. Oh, yeah, just got it. All right. So, what is this new platform going to involve that the Republicans are now undertaking? The platform, as described to New York Times Magazine by people briefed on it, cements Trump's ideology takeover of the GOP. Platform is even more nationalistic, more protectionist, and less social conservative than the 2016 Republican platform that was duplicate for 2020. Trump, who has had the draft for several days, called into a meeting of the party's officials Monday and says he supports it. The document overwhelmingly was approved during a vote by the platform committee on Monday, passing 84 to 18, according to the persons and people that were present on the matter. The abortion section has been softened. There is no longer a reference to traditional marriage as between one man and one woman, and there is no longer an emphasis on reducing the national debt. Only a brief line about slashing wasteful government spending. The rest of the document reflects Trump's priorities as outlined on his campaign website: a hardline immigration policy, including mass deportations, a protectionist trade policy, and new tariffs on most imports, and sections on using federal power to remove policies in academia, military, and throughout the United States. Government put in place by what is described as radical Democrats. They seek to overturn all those policies. Trump and his top aides have alienated some activists, shutting them out of the development of this platform. The former president was especially focused on softening the language on abortion, the issue he views as his biggest vulnerability in the wake of the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe versus Wade. A Trump campaign spokesperson said um, they did not respond. Well, actually, for the New York Times article, the Trump spokesperson did not respond for the article. The section on protecting human life has been significantly watered down in the 2024 draft. In 2016 to 2020, forms that section included extensive specific details about what the Republican Party would do to limit abortions, including sponsoring a federal ban on abortion after 20 weeks. It stated that the unborn child has a fundamental right to life which cannot be infringed. The 2024 draft platform, as described to the Times, is called America First, a return to common sense. There you have it. And you can't make this up. You can't make this up. All this is about language switching and softening of the stance ahead of the Republican National Convention that will be in Madison, Wisconsin next week. This is a softening of that position. This document makes no mention of the federal abortion ban, which Trump has said he opposes. Instead, the new platform stresses that Republicans oppose late term abortions and emphasizes that the party supports access to birth control and in vitro fertilization treatment. They're managing to hit all the high points right ahead of the Republican National Convention. And I have a feeling that, they have been RNC, yeah, Republican National Convention, RNC, will take place next week in Madison, Wisconsin. Um, yeah, so the president of the Susan B. Um, Anthony Pro Life America, who have been concerned about the changes to the platform before the committee's approval of it, sounded approving of the new stance. And that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to get this section of the Republican Party was life because Donald Trump, they wanted him to get on stage and say something he wasn't going to say. So I think this softening of the stance is not for the general public. It's really for the RNC and how they're going to maneuver going into um, this Republican National Convention next week in Minnesota, in Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin. Yeah. So yeah, I want to see some feedback on this. I want to see what people are going to think of this new stance that Republicans are taking um, verbally. Because to me, this is all about getting in office and getting in office and to have spent the last year looking at things that they were vulnerable on, some of their stances. and now it's about getting in office because it still didn't address anything to do with a national abortion ban. It softened the language on it, but it didn't have anything to do. Um, because the Republican Party's platform makes it clear that the unborn child has a right to life that is protected by the Constitution, even though it's just this clump of cells on, on the uterus of on the cell wall. It's just a gun, but they're saying it has a constitutional right to life. So a lot of this is just lip service. A lot of it's lip service, and that's what it's going to be. But no, I'm interested to know what you all think about it. Do you think it will? But I think it's one of the writers were talking about it said they believe that the 2024 platform is a decent statement of campaign priorities. But my thing is not necessarily the enduring principles of the party. Um, yeah, I don't feel like this is about the enduring principles of the party. I think this is just about winning an election, and where they stand is where they stand now. They'll pay lip service to this.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Yeah, y'all hear Google interrupting my conversation. Hey, that was Google. Thank you, Google, for interrupting. What would we be without Google listening in and giving me unsolicited advice? So that's what's happening on the RNC, and we'll be talking about every night after the convention, every night during the RNC. We'll be here giving a wrap up of the day's events, what has happened, what has taken place. Trump is expected to announce his vice presidential candidate sometime this week. We were thinking before RNC. I think it will be a way to steal thunder. And I know Joe Biden would welcome distraction of Donald Trump in the press at this moment because he's been basically staying out of his own way. The Democrats have been um, imploding a little. Like Sun Tzu says, whenever you see your enemies fighting amongst themselves, you just stay out the way. That seems to be what has been happening, what Donald Trump has been doing for the past couple of weeks. I know it's killing him to stay out of the spotlight because you all know how malignant narcissist he is and he loves the spotlight. But I think it's killing him to stay out of it. So I want to hear you all's feedback on that also. What do you all think is going on there? And what do you think will this platform do anything to get the get the message there? Let's look at the polls. Um, we're gonna talk about what the polls show. What do polls show 11 days after the Biden and Trump debate? President Joe Biden was trailing former President Donald Trump within the margin of error prior to the national debate. Now the trailing is by 1 to 2 points in some surveys, but the movement is still within the margin of error, and few results reflect the radical alternate points. The other polarizing tight races, the campaign could very well hinge on such margins. So the polling takeaway 11 days after the debate performance, as a handful of Democrats have called for the exit of Joseph Biden from the race, he's saying he's not going anywhere. And the minimal change in the political mirrors what surveys found. After Trump's criminal conviction in late May, slight movement of the sort that could matter a lot in close presidential races suggested nothing fundamentally had changed. So after Donald Trump's 11 days after Donald Trump's convictions, the polling was basically still the same. The national polls before the debate, Trump was ahead by 1 point among likely voters. CBS poll, and now his lead is 2 points, still within the margin of error. In CBS national and CNN national poll before the debate in April, Trump was up by 6 points. After the debate, it was still by 6 points. So it seems um, like Trump's convictions didn't hurt him. Biden's performance, while caused some cause for its alarm in the Democratic Party, is mostly amongst those having to talk um, out replacing him, but they also realize that without that, they don't really have another choice. So amongst those voters that have already dug in, opinion didn't change. Just like the opinion of Donald Trump didn't change after his 34 convictions. Those who have committed to voting for Joseph Biden haven't changed, but it still doesn't take into account the overwhelming number of people who are saying they're not voting for either candidate under either of the present conditions. I'm still stuck on why Republicans. Someone, Cam asked me why did the Republicans choose Madison, Wisconsin for their Republican National Convention. I asked them why not. It's a battleground state. It's a battleground state. The Republicans would have a national, if they could, they would have a national conference in each of the battleground states because they want to be seen as bringing um, economic opportunity. Because there are going to be like over 50,000 people descend on Madison that are doing this debate, did I say debate? Republican National Convention. There could be like 50,000 people descending and bringing money to the economy. Like there are going to be probably about 50,000 people descending on Chicago also next month for the Democratic National Convention. It's about economics and it's about visibility. And like I said, it's the battleground state. So they're better served by being in a battleground state than they are in a red stronghold. In some states that are going to go red regardless. So this is just a case of why would you know, this is the thought process of people that think like that. That I got you in my pocket. I need to go somewhere where I need to argue my case. And it's going to bring media attention, and businesses are going to love it. So yeah, yeah. So and then Madison is more. It's also like a thumb in the eye at the people that are left leaning in Madison. It's like, look, we're here, we're here. So it's a twofer. It's a twofer. The and you look at the debate polls, you look at and, it, and I look at the polls, and even though they don't suggest a sea of change in the race over the 2 weeks, before the debate, according to the survey, Donald Trump was ahead by 6 points among registered voters and 4 points among likely voters. That is a concerning when you can realize after the debate, Trump lead was 8 points among registered voters and 6 points among likely voters. That's a 2 point shift in Trump's direction. It's in the margin of error, but it's a 2 point shift still within that margin of error. So I think that if the Democrats are not going, if the Democrats stay with this particular um, if the Democrats keep this particular road, then you could have the election tomorrow. Everybody who's going to vote for Joe Biden is going to vote for Joe Biden. And everybody who's going to vote for Donald Trump is going to vote for Donald Trump. And Joe Biden is going to lose the election. If they don't do something to appeal to the voters that are never Trumpers or and never Biden, if they don't do something to appeal to them, they are going to lose the election. And I made a reference that in 1952, both the Republican National Convention and the Democratic National Convention, that anybody care to guess where the National Convention was in 1952? The Democratic National Convention was in Chicago in 1952. The same place is going to be this year, and that was the last time there was a brokered convention. Yeah, it was a brokered convention in Chicago in 1952. The Democrats chose their nominee after 2 rounds of voting, and even though people don't realize when we talk about nominees in this day and age before the primary, before the conventions, that's why the word presumptive is in front of it. It's the presumptive. Donald Trump is the presumptive Republican nominee. Joseph Biden is the presumptive Democratic nominee. After they will become the nominee after they are certified, after prospective national conventions. Now, a brokered convention could occur, and that's when neither nominee gets the prerequisite of votes needed to be the presumptive be the nominee of, and then they go into their brokers and they have these discussions and they come out. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm thinking. I was like, I wonder if history will repeat itself in Chicago this year. I doubt it. Now that I've watched, um, there are 60 members in the Congressional Black Caucus, and all 60 of them came out endorsing President Biden today, in spite of everything. But the thing that gets me is the way the White House has handled this decable of the debate. 'Cause today we find out that there specialists on Parkinson's disease had been to the White House 8 times in the last 8 months. Concerning, and the White House offered no reason for why. And the defensive, combative nature of the White House with the public is alarming. Is alarming because that's they yeah, and a lot of people, are focusing on this this cover. I'm gonna say cover up, mishandling. I will say that the mishandling. What we are failing to realize is that Joe Biden's age is not the end all and be all. I think if it was just his age, then people get would be able to move on. If it was just his age. It's a conversation that we can have on both candidates. But at the end of the day, it's the other baggage that the age is icing on the cake for. I don't think people realize that. It's not just his age, it's that it's icing on the cake. Because some of us spent the spring protesting. We wasn't protesting because of Joseph Biden's age. We were protesting because of this administration's um, endorsement of genocide. Um, and while a lot of that is quiet now, you do understand it's still a thing. And those people are the ones who said they're not voting for either candidate. Nothing that has happened has caused them to vote for either candidate. And I was looking at what happened in France and England in the last week, and especially in France over the weekend. Yeah, I watched the left rally back to beat back the far right in France at the cause of the centrist party. And I was like, that's reassuring. And then we watched the same thing. We watched the um, Labor Party come to power um, in England, which they haven't been in 14 years, overwhelmingly. It's a left leaning party, it's a progressive party. So you're watching around the world, that people have this reaction to their government. And a lot of people are saying, "Well, I don't see that happening here. Well, we're good. It's good." And I'm like, "Yeah, not necessarily. I don't think that this is a pass. I think that you know, while we watched France manage to save the left-leaning, um, well, actually, the centrists did lose ground, and the left, and they joined with the left to hold off the far right. The right was celebrating too. It was fun. It was funny. I was watching the far right celebrate in France, and they were just sure they were going to take the all these positions, and they were going to like gain all these seats in parliament, right? And their dreams came crashing to the ground. But it came crashing to the ground because the left and the centrists came together to keep the far right out of power, and they made compromises to do so. Think I think the United States should take a lesson from that. Um, if the Democratic Party wants to have they could, because we have to realize every seat in the United States House of Representatives is for election this year. Every seat in the House of Representatives is up for election this year. So that's why there's so much concern by some of those members of Congress that are in um, close districts about the issues their voters are telling them they are not coming to the polls over. So you stand the chance, and you do understand historically, vote turnout favors Republicans. The more the turnout, the more in favor of the Republicans are. So that's why you have these people, and a third of the Senate is also up for election. A third of the Senate. So you have a possibility of not only losing the presidency, but losing the Senate and we are the House majority might become the supermajority they thought they were going to get at the 22 midterm election. So that is what the concern is also about. That I feel like people are dismissing. I feel like the centrists realize that the left is better than the right in France. And that was significant. It was significant. And that's what this country has to realize. So we think the Democrats are the left. They're not. They are not the representation of true progressives in this country. True progressives just happen to throw their lot in with the Democrats most of the time because the Republicans are not progressive in any way, shape, or form. They're traditionalists and they want to make America again. Progressives want to make America into the ideology of a future in which we minimize the effects of marginalized groups of people. Those are not the same, too. And I think when people even hear me speak on Democratic policies, they don't understand that. Because, yes, I understand that we continue to complain about the status quo, but we also are not willing to do anything radical about the status quo because we always say, well, what would happen? What was this? Well, you're saying that every 4 years, every 4 years after the election, you spend that 4 years complaining about the status quo, but you never do anything to address the status quo when it's addressable. Like, this is an inflection point. This is that. That's why I was looking at France, and I was like, this is the same inflection point France had. The opportunity for progressives and so called liberals to meet and do something that has long term effects that can help put us on a course where we can get the things we complain about every 4 years in between presidents. We could do that. We could do that. But to say that is sacrilege to them because, I tell people white liberals white liberals are just foxes. They're just foxes. They want power also for the sake of power. They just different than the wolves of the Republican Party that have a different aspect towards power. Both of them either are using marginalized groups of people to obtain the goals that they wish to obtain. So I think that's the part we missed. Some of us realize that the wolf and the fox are both predators, but now the fox needs us in a way that the wolf never has needed us or never will need us or will only eat us in the process. But we also have to make sure that we get something more out of the deal than just to become um, prey again. And that's what a lot of people are not getting. They're not getting the idea the right and the Republicans and Democrats are both predators. And we must use this in a manner that benefits us. So we must go in through it. All marginalized groups, under that so-called big tent of the Democratic Party must make their vote transactional. And they must make it a transaction that is ironclad and that we will not become the prey after the next election. That's all. It's like I watch people promise things in the 4 years leading up to an election that they have no intent of carrying out. Because if they would have had any intent of carrying it out, it would have been part of their platform previous 4 years, the previous 4 years. Well, we must make sure that we are able get something out of this. With that said, let's highlight another one of Dr. Fingers' songs. It's called Maximum Force. Magnum Force.
Dr. Fingers on the beats.
There's a bluebird on my shoulder, should I kill it? Bitches acting like they bananas, Brock gon' split it. Vultures of this culture, Eddie Brock will kill it. Adam Calhoun, fearing them rap face, I hit it. Magnum force plus, setting them up, dragging course. Train around your ankle, pick them up, smashing course. Listen. You and your bum raps, guns and straps, face get slapped. You and your ghost rider's ass get clapped. White boy ain't bringing no noise. But be moist, little kids just fucking with toys. Pete, not fucking around bars, I shut them down. My shit's San Quentin, your shit's a playground. Send rounds like a huge ass circle. Brock hurtful, just great ape who's known to smoke purple. Listen. David Blaine magician tricks come up missing. When I drop my pants, Eddie Rock get to shitting. The biggest. Yippee ki to Bruce Willis. Seek your laser guided missiles. Rock won't miss it like my ex bitch. Check this. When I flip the switch, even Simone Bow saying I can't fuck with this shit. Alarming those when I spit harming those. Line them up, knock them down like games at carnivals. Listen. Rocks the OG, know your place, don't like me. Kiss your bitch and see how my dick
Let the
tastes.
madness begin. Let it begin. Put the magnet to your chin. Show you what it is. Let the madness begin. Let it begin. Put the magnet to your chin. Show you what it is. Dot fingers, I'm not playing. I rock strangers. I am the greatest. Y'all a bunch of pop singers. Culture and hip hop. They think it's cool. They like black music. Scream MAGA. That's a flip flop. Country singer turned rap artist. They half hearted. I'm black on them. Yeah, I'm quick to clap on them. Fake allies don't care about black lives. Politicize what happens in our black lives. I'm an animal. Y'all talking parables. Got no soul, shining mechanical. Man, I handle you. This is like shit. Never been a nice kid. I fight and shit. Got stabbed with the ice pick. I got bars that'll leave you lifeless. You do this as a gimmick. You know how many mics I ripped? Flows lethal. This is bad meets evil. This what happens when the ancient meets Godzilla. Get a pound. Let the madness begin. Let it begin. Put the magnet to your chin. Show you what it is. Let the madness begin. Let it begin. Put the magnet to your chin. Show you what it is. Let the madness begin. Let it begin. Put the magnet to your chin. Show you what it is. Let the madness begin. Let it begin. Put the magnet to your chin. Show you what it is.
And there you have it. Eddie Brock and my little brother, Dr. Fingers. Magnum Force. Yeah, you can cop all this. And I know Amazon has it. I know it's across multiple streaming platforms. But yeah, give them a listen and tell them his big brother sent you. Yeah. So, I don't know if any of y'all are in the Houston area, Texas area. Um, Hurricane Beryl damage and impact in Houston. They said there are 2 million people down there without power at this time. It came ashore with peak winds around 84 miles per hour. That was measured at the airport. More than 13 inches of rain were measured, and Sugarland 14 inches in Hillshire and 11 inches in Brookside. So a lot of water, a lot of wind damage, a lot of power outages in Houston. I've reached out to friends, y'all know. I know Conscious Lee is in Houston. Crystal Crave is in Houston. Eddie Brock is around that area also. And Dan Trail Bonet. Dan Trail, the artist with the most, is also in the Houston area. He's putting his food in the freezer. So if you all know, then you know. If you have friends or family in that area, reach out, check on them. Neighborhoods are scattered with downed trees, power lines, and other debris. Ben County, several families were left displaced when a section of their apartment building collapsed. At least 4 people were killed um, in the across the Houston area as of the time I got that report in today. And a civil employee of Houston Airport Police Department died after getting caught in flood waters while driving to work. So if you know anyone in the Houston area, check in on them and see how they are doing today. And once everything settles down, I will tell you what we're going to do as far as contacting communities of need down there and seeing what they need and if we can get some funds or send some things down there to them because know that as much as those with homes are impacted by this destruction, the homeless are even more impacted. So these are the reports we're getting from the homed and housed people. You can imagine how devastating any hurricane or any tropical storm is on those who are unhoused. Houston has a large unhoused population. So as we get reports in on that, we'll be also giving out that information and letting you know what reputable sources to make donations to. If you have any questions, like I say, hit one of my pages, hit the GCPR network, and leave me a message and let me know, and I will get on it and do the research possible and know what we can do to help out our friends in Houston and Texas area who were impacted hurricane that just came ashore this morning. That's the second named storm of the season, and it is just July. So this is going to be an active hurricane season. So we are going to be expecting more of the same. So that's that. So keep them in your positive universal energy. If you have family, reach out to them. Make sure they're doing all right. And over 2 million without power. And if there's anything that we can do, then let's get it. No. Okay. Right. Got this in. I wanted to cover it. White House doctor offers explanation of Parkinson's experts visit. Interesting. I'm just getting this in. In a letter released Monday night by presidential physician Dr. Kevin O'Connor, he confirms that the Parkinson expert who visited the White House 8 times in an 8 month span was the neurological specialist that examined President Biden for each of his annual physicals. Hold on, let me read that again. The White House confirmed that the expert Parkinson's doctor who visited the White House 8 times in an 8 month span was the neurological specialist that examined President Biden for each of his annual physicals. So this is not an 8 month span. He should have only had three annual physicals. So eight. The doctor's visits to the White House don't represent examinations of the president, according to O'Connor's letter. Um, the specialist is involved in a range of other care options beyond the president at the White House. Prior to the pandemic and following it in, the expert held regular neurological clinics at the White House Medical Clinic in support of the thousands of active duty members assigned to the White House in support operations. Many military personnel experience neurological issues related to their service, and Dr. Cargill regularly visited the White House as part of his general neurological practice. On the subject of Biden's physical, O'Connor noted that President Biden has not seen a neurologist outside of his annual physical. O'Connor also stressed that Biden's last physical found no signs of Parkinson's, which he detailed in a February 28th letter. So, just talking about this, and this, like I say, this letter was just released tonight, and I just, yeah, and it just came across my news feed. So, White House explanation for the expert in Parkinson's disease visiting the White House 8 times in an 8 month span was because of other neurological visits to other people under the White House auspice. Yep. Yeah. Ben, Ben, you all have to check out, like say, y'all have to check out the GCPR network. There's a show that comes on right before mine called Cold Hands, and the host Ben, you can follow him on across social media, but he talks to people that are family victims of gun violence, not authorities of, that perpetrated the gun violence or statistics. He talks to people who are dealing with the loss of their loved ones after gun violence. And in this country, we have an obsession with guns and people who can't read the Second Amendment. Yeah. Um, so it is very impactful. It's very impactful to listen to the show. And I always talk about a parent's worst nightmares losing their child. And then to hear some of these people talk and the pain in their voice, talking about losing their loved ones to gun violence, is heartbreaking. So you all need to check it out on Monday at 9. I believe it's 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Um, is that right? Yeah, that should be right. An hour before my show on Monday. Check it out. It's very impactful, and you get to have some insight on what families are going through. It should never have to go through on what they go through. There is that. Had to get that plug in. Then. Now, like I say, we have 9 o'clock. Okay, let me get the times right. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time to 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So it's 9 to 11. It's 2 hours Eastern Standard Time, and that would translate into like 8 o'clock Central Standard Time to 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's 2 hours on Monday, 8 to 10 Central Standard Time. Yeah, I got it right. I got it right. I got it right. So y'all check it out. Um, yeah, we're about to wrap it up. It's about to wrap up in a couple of minutes here. But that was the latest. I'm going to look into this letter that has just been released by Dr. Kevin O'Connor, and I will have more follow up for you tomorrow night after we see what's beyond the letter, and I've had a chance to break it down. Because, like I said, I just got it while I was on the. So it seems interesting. It's like he said the experts' visit to the White House don't represent examinations of the president 8 times. So I just wonder what was going on at the White House in those 8 times that Parkinson's specialist, a neurological specialist, even needed to be called in 8 times. And you know what? I would have felt better if they would have said that his visits were to talk about policy involving the government's stance on dealing with Parkinson's disease or other neurological disorders that are threatening to our community, like dementia and stuff of that nature, than to tell us that basically um, prior to the pandemic and following its end, the White House had regular neurological clinics at the White House Medical Clinic in support of thousands of active duty members assigned to support the White House operation. Did those were they suffering from neurological damage for supporting the White House clinic? I don't know. Like I say, the way the White House has handled the fallout of this debate is just weird. It's just weird. And I know people don't like me to say it, but if you talk about we talk about the fall the debate, well, we can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time because I also raise the issues of the horrors that the Republican Party represent, and I can also talk about how the Democrats could do better. I know you all don't like that, and you can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, but isn't that what democracy means? That I get to also challenge the status quo? Yeah, until I challenge your status quo, then you have a problem. But understand, I will stay on top of this. I will be getting back to it. Yeah, they can absolutely do better on this end. And if we don't hold them to doing better, then we're no better than the people that we point at on the other side, or we're no better than people who are going to do nothing in the face of the horror that we face. So, hey, hate the messenger, hate the message. If you want to do better, you can. And yeah, this is getting out of hand. I will end on this. I will say that the if in the event that the debate would have gone the way you all wanted it to go, you would still be talking about it. Let that sink in.
Dr. Fingers
Peace.
on the beat.
J to the L to the fuck you. Now that I got that out the way, fuck you. Lower your shields and prepare to be boarded. Prepare to be targeted. You can fuck with my heart and shit. Yeah, this is lights out. For my brothers, get your whole fam wiped out. For my fam, get your whole universe destroyed. Take your face off, all cast Detroit. I'm a disaster boy, extinction level asteroid. Impact is smashing noise. Born
All right, what's up? After show. I had to clear it out the radio station. Talking now, I'm gonna talk to my supporters on several platforms when I can see your messages. I had to make sure I wasn't in anybody's way on other platforms, but now we're on my platform. I know I'm definitely not anybody's way. Um, Greetings, salutations. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, X, all of my platforms. Only platform I'm not streaming on is um, Instagram and Facebook right now because Facebook is my personal family page, and I'm not willing to do what it takes to stream there. And X because I just forgot to start it. Forget to start it. It just costs me not X, but IG. It just takes a little longer to start it on IG, and I was already running late. So I'm across all my platforms except those. Ben. Hold on. Let me move the little um there. I had to move the little puzzle piece into the box so I'm not being deactive. Ben, my friend, your show looks amazing. Love it, the setup. Thank you. Did you see in inbox on? Did you see you inboxed me on Facebook, Clack? Let me see. What did you send me? Did you send me something I can I can read on here or not? uh, yeah, Clack done sent me something I can't read on the air. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. But I'll take a look at it, Clack. I'll take a look at it. Thank you all. I want to thank every one of you all who have made this experience. Last week was my first week on the GCPR network, and everyone who tuned in, everyone gave me a follow over there. Thank you so much. It's nice to know that if I lose all these platforms, that I know the boss over at GCPR, and I will not be off the air. I will still. It's clean. All right, Clack. I'm gonna trust you. Let me go see. Let's let me go see what Clack done sent me up on Messenger. Black-owned animated studio secures $500,000 deal on Shark Tank. That Kevin Hart. You know that was yeah. You know when that happened, right? Yeah, yeah. I know that happened. That happened. Yeah, yeah. That happened before my vacation. Way before my vacation. Matter of fact, I talked to Manuel right after it happened on live. We did live together. I know now. You know now? You didn't know then? Ah, do you want to see the shit with Hulk Hogan firing influence? Yeah, I saw that. But this is the thing, right? Yeah, I saw Hulk Hogan and him find the influencer. But am I the only one who knew Hulk Hogan was a racist? Am I the? I was not shocked by that. I was not shocked by that because I I knew Hulk Hogan was a racist. Is nobody else knew that? I was the only one. I was the only one that knew Hulk Hogan was a racist. Yeah, Hulk Hogan been a racist. He been a racist. Yeah. Let's see what's over. What's happening? Yeah, been known. Yeah, I knew he was, but I was surprised he hired her. He hired her based upon sight unseen. Is when he saw she was a black girl that, yeah, yeah. And I guarantee the agency hired her. I guarantee an agency hired her, and once he saw her, because you could see the pictures he took with her, right? And they were just so cringeworthy. It was like I was like, oh my goodness. But this is because people need to do better research. and they don't do better research. And that brings me to something else I've been seeing going across social media today about Paramount Plus. And people are saying Paramount Plus is wiping out black culture or erasing black culture. Let me say this first and foremost. You can't erase black culture. Okay, let's stop that narrative. You can't erase black culture. What you can do is you can try, because as long as black people exist, black culture exists, and our stories are our own to keep. Also, I think a lot of people depend on the enemy to keep our history, and then get surprised when the enemy doesn't. That is the operational definition of insanity and stupidity at the same damn time. That is just crazy to me. What Paramount Plus did is Paramount Plus bought up some other companies, but I want to show you the headline. See if I can find the headline. Hold tight. I'll find the headline. Anyway, the headline is actually that Paramount Plus shut down a lot of websites with archives. And these archives included country music television, um, Comedy Central, and some other places, right? So those archives are now inaccessible. But people were talking about that Paramount Plus was getting rid of stuff. No, actually, what Paramount Plus is doing is funneling people to their Paramount Plus stations, right? Their main titles, right? They just merged and it formed a big company, so they're trying to funnel traffic there. So I didn't understand, and I saw a video on it, and I was like, I am going to go and research it. And when I researched it, I found out all the websites that Paramount Plus was closing down, and I was like, yeah, if you're going to say that, then I guess country music is also being erased. Paramount Plus is erasing country music because the CMT website was also shut down in its archives. Comedy Central, Paramount Central is erasing comedy because Comedy Central's website was closed in their archives. So I'm gonna do a video on it because I hate misinformation, just despise misinformation, and I despise it to the point that, yeah, I don't have to make right country music hours anyway, but I don't have to make up or narratives to talk about the injustices that marginalized groups of people do experience. And when you make up narratives to try that, what you wind up doing, you wind up it's so easily disprovable that you just look foolish in the process. You look foolish in the process trying to say these things in the face of reality. And the reality of the situation is that Paramount Plus is just doing business. Now, also, what this does tell us and what we should take from it is we should not leave the arbitration of our we should right. We should not leave the arbitration of our culture in the hands of somebody else anyway. You know, ever since BET was sold to Vicon and later to the Paramount Group, these are all possibilities. When these people get tired, when these services are not making them money, they cut them. And I saw somebody talking about the Invisible Man and how it was banned in 2013. The Invisible Man by Ralph Ellis. I'm gonna tell you, like banned books. This is Ralph Ellison's The Mizzle Man. Banned books. It is our responsibility to save our culture. I don't expect the people who burn books to save our culture or to save books. It is our responsibility. Maybe if more of y'all picked up some books to a physical library, passed on to your children and other generations, then you don't have to worry about people banning books when you're able to take it upon yourself to make sure those books never are not introduced into our culture. They're a part of our culture. Ralph Ellison is a part of our culture. The Invisible Man is part of our culture. And the social, before you all think it's a man that's invisible walking around doing perverted things, Invisible Man is about social invisibility of the black man in today's culture, and it is a great read. And I advise you all to anyone who hasn't read it just to pick it up and read a copy. But yeah, I have to do a video addressing that because that was just crazy to me when I saw that video, and I was like, hmm. And then when you go read the articles and you read that, really, I'm happy with this. Got to type. Let's see. Try to type. Give me a minute. I'm gonna pull it up. Paramount. Uh, let me show you what Paramount did do. Let's see. Oh, there it is. All right. Let's let's see if I can navigate to it without. Okay, there it is. So this is what we have. This is what Paramount Plus actually did. All right. Comedy Central, MTV News, CMT, TV Land, online archives purged by Paramount Plus. And that's what's happened. All these were purged by Paramount Plus. Money issues. So no, more Bella on this show. Bella is laying in the bed sleep. Like she's asleep until I mentioned her name. Now she's looking at me. Yeah. But this is what Paramount actually did. And you will see that, go down in an enormous cultural loss reminiscent of Degassi tapes incident in the early days of television. Paramount Global has removed the online archives to ComedyCentral.com, TVLand.com, MTVNews.com, and CMT.com from public access. The move takes away a quarter century or more of online content. It is unclear if the content has been saved for future use. In a statement, a Paramount Global spokesperson said, takedown came as part of a broader website strategy across Paramount. We have introduced more streaming versions of our sites, driving fans to Paramount Plus to watch their favorite shows. So all the shows, what people are really not understanding is the shows are still there. The shows, Paramount Plus has bought all these things up, and they're driving traffic to their sites now. So those shows are still there. It's the archives of like written written tutorials and all that. Those are gone. Those are not, and they're not gone. They're just public access. So when I see people talking about they're erasing black culture, Jefferson's still around. All these shows are still around. And also the internet, the thing about the internet is everything's there. You just might have to look somewhere differently for it. So when people talk about the erasure of black culture, number one, you have to understand that that's not going to happen. You might watch people that don't care about black culture and they seek to minimize the contributions of black people in culture, but that's our fault if we allow that to happen. That's our fault if we allow that. So I'm gonna do a video on that, and this is basically the what you're going to see. You're going to see me talk about because I don't see those same people talking about the erasure of country music culture just because CMT online archives have also were included in this. I tell people all the time about me. I do not have to make up or embellish any narrative to get to the point, the atrocities that are being committed every day in this society. Because when you embellish and make up points, then once they disprove those points, they make your other points look like they're standing on faulty ground also. So we have to make sure we address these in real time so we don't allow the true nature of our struggle to become canonified to false narratives that are easily disproved. easily disproven. So there is that, and we will be addressing those all in the future. So, all right. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Y'all don't know anything about Keep Sweat. Thinking that a girl around. I forgot. I'm still on other platforms, so I can't play Unfeathered Keep Sweat without those getting content violations. So that's all the merry-go-round you get to hear. Yeah, once I log out of those. Also, consider subscribing to my TikTok channel because on TikTok for $2.99 a month, $5.99 a month, whatever it is, it helps me help those who happen to be homeless. But what it also will do is I'm going to start having subscriber only movie nights. So make sure you get your money's worth because we're gonna have first run movies, new movies, bootleg movies, and now that I see, if I have a subscriber only, then I know the only people that could be possibly reporting our bootleg movie night would be subscribers, right? So y'all consider subscribing to the channel, and we will have first run bootleg movie night, and yeah, it'll be some good movies. Plus, it'll be some movies we might be looking at each other like made it to the theater. Yeah, there's several of those. I did The Quiet Place day one. I was so mad because I thought A Quiet Place day one was going to answer some of my questions from the other Quiet Places. I don't know if you have seen A Quiet Place, but I thought it was going to answer some of my questions from the other movies about how the hell did we get here? What the hell is this? Why are they here? Yeah, none of those questions were answered. None of those questions was answered. You like my screen in the background? Too much light in it, is it? That is 3 hours and some change of the Hubble telescope, and yeah, that is it's great. I miss Silent Place, but seeing it tomorrow with the lady, a quiet place, silent place. I'm talking about, yeah, yeah. I'm talking about. Did I say Silent Place? A Quiet Place, day one. Yeah, yeah. Lady gonna be mad at you. Glad. Oh no. But you remember one thing, and this is not a spoiler. This is not a spoiler, but you remember I think it was the second Quiet Place when they went to the island that they inadvertently bought one of the monsters to. I don't know if I'm even calling them monsters, right? I don't know what to call them because I don't know if they're alien life form or genetically altered alien life form to clear out the planet. I don't know what they are. Do you need Nick to come back and put up more lights block over the window? No. Does it look bad? No, it's still up. I mean, I'm great on lighting in here. It's just that I'm experimenting with a lighting I like as far as, I got the monitors up here and then I got the television back here. It looks good. Oh, okay. Well, that means, yeah, since you know how it looked before, that's a start. See, I get even got the little fold. I got the little fold in the background. You can see Bella's laying over here on the bed. Um, yeah, I feel proud of myself. I put the new chair together. Yeah, yeah. You see the chair? Yeah, can you see the chair? Yeah. I got a new chair. I got a new gaming chair because I the last one, I put together and it broke. But I put this one together. I'm proud of myself. And um, Miss Metal Milter, the standard was that my bestie, I sent the picture. I sent Nick a picture also after I put it together, and she gonna ask me, "Have I sat in it yet? Have I sat in it yet?" So I had to sit in it because I did send the picture before I sat in the chair. I sent her a picture of me after I put it together, but I hadn't sat in it. So I had sat in it and took a picture and sent it to her also. Yeah. Be clack. We had to move our vacation, so I don't. Um. Hey, hold up. Wait a minute. Ain't no way. I told you, Declack, you know how to use tools. Get your own Nick. Yeah, no, no. If any vacations being moved, it's to come see T Nathan. It's not to no, no. Well, nope, A revolutionary gonna show up. Okay, play. Yeah, we're not moving vacations for anybody to go see anybody else. Yeah, no. If we y'all go on y'all vacation, if I find out you all were anywhere near D Clack, I'm never gonna hurt Nick or anybody, but I'll go beat D Clack up. Yeah, Clack, you will get beat up. I have my Nick. You you on vacation? No, no, I don't like this. I do not like this at all. It seems like a plot. It seems like a plot. D Clack be strapped. Yeah, that's all right. You could. I'm not even gonna talk about. I know where all the water towers are in your area already. Yeah, you strapped with short range projectiles. I'm strapped with long range projectiles. Yeah, I have a super soaker that will hit you at least a quarter of a mile. Yeah, and all joking aside, I would only super soak you. I would never do anything else. Yeah, I would never do anything else. Before the dirt. Just talking about you on live with Nick and his wife. Yeah, all fun TikTok, all fun TikTok. Right. As a matter of fact, we can argue. I'm still serious about this vacation thing. I'm still serious about this vacation thing. Yeah, ain't no way. Ain't no way. After party. Yeah. Let me find out. Let me find out. It's all fun, TikTok, but let me find out. It's all fun, but let me find out. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, I'll create something that ain't moving vacation for me. Oh, okay. Yeah, good, good, good. Cause I'm gonna get some I'm gonna go get some white woman tears and pour in my eye and see if I can make them work. Yeah, I'm gonna go get some tears. Ain't nobody moving no vacation with me. I'm bringing out all weapons. Yeah, plenty of tears on this app. You don't have to go there. Yeah, I don't want none of them tears. None of it's true. The bestie says the bestie is at work and they texted me right, and hey T, she wants me to tell you none of what I'm saying is true about her. Yeah, Nick and company. She wants me to tell you none of it's true. Yeah, but I'm still laughing, but I'm dead serious. Clack. Yeah, I'm dead serious. I will. I've been known to I got a I don't have a trunk, but I'll find one. All right, you all. And I join. I'm gonna start doing this more often. We're gonna have a little after show after the show, and just chop it up with my people across my platforms. Um, just say, hope you like the logo, like the logo. I'm also gonna do a live one night. It's gonna be, people have lives and they talk about the fold or T Nathan, and one day I'm gonna do a live and tell you I'm gonna answer all your questions for real. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Like I say, I appreciate it. I couldn't have done this without you all. And yeah, it's great. It's great to have people that really care about you and that really support you in what you do. And and if I have a limited skill set, but if you ever need anybody beat up, I'm your guy. I know to call me. Yeah, I might can't fix the furnace. These hands might be too big to reach in small places, but I swing a mean right, and I like combos too. All right, you all. I am going to get out of here and go do something. Go do something counterproductive. And I'll see you all tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time on CG GCPR Network and all my platforms where we'll have another conversation. TNathan. I have a blessed peace. Dun, dun.